Hello everyone, welcome to another video on this channel. In this video we are going to build an API using Laravel, and then we are going to access that API using Postman. If you didn't use it yet, it's a very useful tool that you can use to test your APIs. And also we are going to build an HTML and JavaScript websites, very simple, and we are going to access our API server from there. So without getting anything longer, let's get started. And before that, let me remind you with something. If you didn't subscribe yet, I don't know what are you waiting for. Please do it. Yeah, I'm waiting. Do it. Do it. Okay, now we are good. So what if you didn't subscribe yet? Oh, it's a big problem. Anyway, if you want to subscribe, just do it. If you don't want, if you didn't like me, it's okay. Haters are going to hate. So let's talk about APIs first. And API stands for Application Programming Interface. And what does that mean is, you know what? I have an idea. Just follow me. Okay, let me take that. Okay, is it recording? Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's sit down here. And we have now a whiteboard. Here we will discuss the concepts, and we will learn the concepts, and we are going to apply those concepts in the computer. Okay, so let's just explain this in this marker and this whiteboard. So the API is for getting any information from the internet. Okay, so let's say that you are standing here, okay, with a big smile. Oh my god, these are not eyes. Okay, with a big smile and a lovely hairstyle, and you are developing a website or a software or whatever you are going to develop, and you want to have the current price of the gold. Okay, you don't have this information and you want to get this information from the internet. So another guy who is related more than you to the gold prices, and he is in the gold like market, and he knows the exact price of the gold in a specific time. So he decided to build an API for that thing. So he has here something like a server. This is a server, okay? And he has here the gold price, okay? This is the money sign. Okay, so in your place, you want to ask that server to give you the gold price. So you will send a GET request. You will send a GET request with an ask. You are asking that server to give you back the gold price, okay? Because this server might have the gold price and silver price and some other things. So you are asking him to give you the gold price, okay? And that server will send a response with the gold price. So he will send the price here. Okay, so this is the basic usage of the APIs. This is not the only usage of the API. There is much more than that for the API usage, but this is the most basic one, and this is how you understand the APIs. Okay, so let's move on to the other example. So here you want to develop a website. Okay, so let's say that we have here a website, and you want to divide your code into two parts. One is for the front end and the other one is the back end. So let's say that here you are using Angular, okay, and here you are using Laravel, or also you can use Vue.js or React or plain vanilla JavaScript. So you can use anything you want. It's not only with these frameworks. So here you have a code, and here you have another code. Okay, this code is responsible for the backend. So here you have a team to develop this code. Okay, and this code is attached to the database. Okay, so this code will ask this code to give him some information from the database. Okay, so you will develop this code. This is the code, okay, to like send some useful information for that code. So this will send some GET request, GET in capital, and this will send a response. And also he can send a POST request, to like add data to the database, and he will send a response that yes, the data you sent is added to the database, and so on and so forth. So that's another example, or that's another application for the APIs. You separate the front end from the back end. And a third application of the APIs, that in that case you have a complete website that is up and running. It has a front end and it has a back end, and for some reason you want to develop a mobile application. Okay, so no problem. You will develop your mobile phone, your mobile application, okay, using Android, iOS, Swift, whatever you want, Flutter, whatever you want, okay? And you will get the information from the same backend using APIs. So here you will have API calls that gets the information, and the backend will send the information back. So this is another example, or this is another application for developing an API, or this is another example for using API in the real life. Okay, so now let's go back to the code and let's code this thing to make you happy. Okay, yeah. Okay, so welcome back. So let me just check that I'm at the frame of the camera. Yeah, I'm here, welcome me. And I have here now a Laravel copy, Laravel 7 copy on my computer. Nothing interesting in it. I just made a database. I created a database in my database collection, and I linked it. That's all. If you want to check it, here it is. It's API tut, and it's linked in the .env file. Where is it? API tut. So that's all about my Laravel code. Now let's build our API using Laravel. So the first thing I want to do is to create a model, and I want to create a model for a bank. Okay, our example now as a bank. So PHP artisan make model bank, and I'm going to make a -m to attach a migration with it. So let's run this code and we'll run this command, and let's also create a controller. Artisan make controller banks controller, and I'm going to make it resourceful. Now I'm going to go to the API.php. When we create a regular website, we usually put our routes in the web.php. But in this example, or when you create an API, you will add them in the API.php. Okay, and let's create our route. So it's resourceful. Resource. No, it's not like that. Banks, and it will go to the banks controller. Okay, simple as that. And let's just double check this. PHP artisan route list, and this will give us the list of the routes in the application. And you will notice that the first segment is API. Make sure that if you want to access the API routes, you will have to type the API first before anything in the URL. Okay. So here's our GET request, POST request, also GET and GET also, and then we have the PUT and the DELETE. Okay, so now we are going to go to the model first and to configure or to add the guarded attribute. And to do that, we're going, where's the models? Database. Oh, we have to go to the migration first. And in this migration, string name and table string also location, or let's just say a year. Okay, so we have a name and a year for the bank. I don't know what are these. It's totally fake, nothing interesting and nothing creative. So let's migrate. PHP artisan migrate And we have a problem here that the string. Okay, migration is succeed. Now let's go to the app, and inside the app, let's go to the bank, and let's add the protected, guarded to the empty string to use the mass assignment. Now we don't use this, we will not use this, and also we are done with this. We will open it, but later. And now we are going to go to the HTTP controllers, oopsies, not the middlewares, controllers, banks controller, and we are going to write the code now. Before everything, just try to use app, just move the mouse cursor, bank, and here we are going to get all the banks in the database. So banks, bank, all. Very easy, very simple. Return response bank 200. And what 200 is, when you send a request to an API server, you will get a response from it. And when the server tells you that the response code is 200, then the response is success, or it's okay. It went okay and went back okay. Maybe it's a like 500, which is an internal server error. If some error happens in the code, it will return 500, or maybe 404, which is the API doesn't exist, or maybe it's a 401 or 2, I don't remember, but it's an unauthorized, that you are not authorized to use this API. And some APIs you have to like pay some membership to use them, to get the information. Not everything is for free. So this is the code for getting all the banks from the database, and we are going to now write the code in the store method, and the store method stores new banks in the database. So here we are going to like declare a new variable, which is data, and here I'm going to go inside the request. Inside the request there is a validate, and this validate takes an array name required, and also the year is required for me. Year is required, and there's a problem, semicolon. Now we are going to add this bank in the database, so we will declare a bank and bank create bank. Simple as that. And finally, we are going to return. Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do anything wrong. Return response bank and 200. So when I add a new bank, it will return it to me. Okay. So let's now go to the Postman. Okay, and this application, or this like program, is to test your website and test your APIs. So whenever you want to test your website, it's recommended to use it, and it's recommended to test your website. So let's do for the banks. I created here a collection, and I will put all of the banks or all of the APIs required or related to this API in this collection. So let me just create a new request called get all banks. I don't use this testing program a lot, so I'm still beginner here, as you, local host, or you may be professional, not like me, beginner. 8000 API banks, and this will give me all the banks. I got a 500 error here. Let's preview it. See, line 18. Oh, line 18. Let's go to line 18 and find what the problem. Okay, banks, should be banks. So it returned here an empty array, which is realistic because we still have no banks in our database. So let's create banks in our database, and let's create a new request with add bank, and here it will be a post request,
API, not login, banks, cool. And I will go to the body section here, and I will choose this thing to have some formatted places to add my data. So the name is bank1 creative. The year is 2020. Cool. Let's now add the bank, and if I send this, I will get an internal server error because I did thing wrong. Variable bank. I think that bank data. Cool. I always make mistakes. So we got the bank back, and if we go here and send this request again, we will get this bank here. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. It's pretty. I have a like, I don't know why it's like this, but it's like this. Okay, cool. Now we have to like write the code for the rest of the functions. Let's write for the update, and we want to update a bank. And to update a bank, we will have to write the same code, but we will make some changes here. Let's just type here where the ID equals to the ID that is passed here, and this ID is passed in the URL. And I will update the data. Okay, and let's add here the ID. Okay, and here I will get a 0 or 1. I will not get a bank, so let's just leave it as it is. If you are doing something more professional, name it something different than bank. So update bank, and we are going to send the same URL, but we are going to make it 1. And here, let's make it for now a put request. There is a trick here, but we are sending now a put request. Let's go to the body and go to the form data, and here I'm going to pass the name bank1, and the year is going to be 2019, not 1319. Okay, so now to send the put request, if you send it, it will tell you that you updated the data, but if you get the data, it's not really updated. It's still 2020, and that's because you have to you can't send something like this to the database or in Laravel. You have to send it as a post request. Okay, but this will add a new if you did this will add new bank. But if you did this method, you are sending a post request, but inside it you are telling that this is a put request. So if you send that now, you got 1 because you updated this this bank, and if you go to the get all banks and refreshed, you really updated the bank. Okay, let's add a new bank, bank 2 with 2020, and bank 3 also with 2020. Okay, update bank. Oh no, what did I do? Okay, nothing interesting here. Just like send here. I have 3 banks now, 2 with 2020 years and 1 with 2019. I want to make or to write the code for deleting a bank. So let's add a new request. Add request, delete bank, and where is it? Okay, delete bank, and we want to make it here as a delete. Localhost banks 1. I want to delete the first one, and let's write the code. Get the bank equals to bank, find the ID, and here you have to bank, oh my god, delete. Let's destroy this bank, and we will return a response of a string now because we have no bank to return. Bank deleted, and with a status code of 200. And let's just put a semicolon here to shut this down. And let's send this request, bank deleted. Let's get all the banks, and we have both banks with 2020 and the first bank is deleted. Let's now add a bank with a 2018. Okay, bank 4, and we have now 3 banks. So now I will create a function that will return only the banks with the year 2018. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go down here, public function get banks by year, and just pass the year. Okay, cool. Now here I'm going to get the banks equals to bank where the year equals to year, and I'm going to get the result because this doesn't return the result. So I have the result here. I will return response the banks, oh my god, banks with the status code of 200. Okay, and now I can't do anything, but let me just create the request get banks by year. Where's this added? It happened for the second time. Get banks by year. All right, cool. What's wrong with you? Local host 8000 API banks get banks by ID, and the ID is 1. Okay, or no, the ID, not the ID, the year, by year, and the year is 2018. And when I run this code, now when I run this request, it will return nothing. It will return a 404 because it's not found, and that's because I don't have it in the routes. So let's add it in the routes. So route get banks get banks by year, and here I'm going to go to the banks controller at get, let's copy and paste. Okay, cool. Now if I send this request, I will get an 404 error because I think that get banks by year, oh yeah, because this should have a parameter here, year. All right, now it should work. Okay, and I got the bank with 2018 year, and if I change this to 2020, oops, to 2020, I will get the banks with 2020 years. Okay, that is cool. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to move forward to the next part of the video, which is creating an HTML and JavaScript website and like get this information. So now I'm going just to create some boilerplates for the website. Okay, so now I have my ready code, and I included the jQuery library. Okay, I added the code here in the jQuery.js, and also I have the app.js to write my JavaScript code, and also I have the index.html. So here in my website, I have it, which I have it here. It's empty yet, so let's create a button. Let's go here and create, not in the head, in the body, and create a button, okay, and call it get info, and I'll give it an ID of btn, and I'm going to make a p tag with an ID of text. Okay, I forgot how to type. Not yet. Okay, so now we have something that gets the information from the database, and let me just open the console here and make it ready. And I will just copy the code from the previous or from the training video that I did, or from my training for this video. So I'll explain everything in it. So this code, what it does is when I click the button, okay, it's an on-click event, jQuery code, it will start this Ajax call. And this Ajax has a type, which is get, and has a URL, which is the URL you want to get the information from. And I will change this to banks, okay? And here, if it succeeds, it has a success and it has an error. So in the error, I'll print out the error that it happened. And in the success, I'm getting here the response, which is the thing that I'm getting back. If you notice here that we are getting here a response, this is the response we are getting, okay? So I have here an array. So I'm getting the array and I'm getting the first element in the array, and I will type the name of the array in that text. So let's go to the website and let's refresh this, and let's click this button, and we got the bank 2, which is the first element in the array. Let me just console log this response. Console.log the response, okay, to see what the response is. We have here an array with 3 objects, and each object is a bank, okay? And we can like access anything we want. If we want here the banks, which is the, let me copy the URL from here. We want the 2020 banks. We will get them here. Let me just get the, okay, the name is good. Let me refresh this. And we are getting 2 elements in this array, okay? If I change this to 2018, I will get the 2018 bank, which is here. You can find it here, 2018. Okay, so that is how to make an API call or an API server using Laravel. And that is it for this video for now. If you got anything useful from it, subscribe. You will never regret it. And if you have any suggestions for me, anything you want to say, reach me out, comment in the comments, or you can find my social media accounts in the description. Just text me and I will respond, I promise. And that is it for this video for this week. See you in the next one. Bye.